So let me introduce our hosting team today. My name is Svetlana, but I have my colleagues with me today. We were hosting this webinar. It's Inga Dadishidze, Cost Science Officer, Michael Perrault, also Cost Science Officer, and of course, Catalin is the Cost Policy Officer. We have two girls that are supporting us technically, Zainab and Vicky will be really making sure that everything is run smoothly. Now it's my honor to introduce the very special guest to our webinar is the Director of Cost Association, Dr. Ronald de Bruin. Please, Ronald, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Svetlana, and it's a great pleasure to see so many of you connected. So, dear colleagues, dear national correspondents, and dear representatives of the Cost Near Neighbour Countries, and of course, last but certainly not least, dear participants, it's my pleasure to welcome you on behalf of the Cost Association. This is the first online Cost Awareness Day, fully dedicated to the research community in our Cost Near Neighbour Countries. Cost altogether is an intergovernmental organization with 39 countries on board. And in addition, we also have 16 in total near neighbor countries, but also other countries across the world that can, of course, participate in these cost networking activities. Indeed, cost is about networking, and it is our mission to provide networking opportunities for researchers as well as innovators to tackle Europe's challenges from a multidisciplinary point of view, and thereby trying to create, let's say, an impact scientifically, technologically, and in a societal level. So it is therefore also my pleasure to share with you a little bit more detail about the participation from the Cost Near Neighbour Countries. We have seen a continuously growing trend in the last couple of years, increasing by 60% even in terms of the number of participants over the last 2 years. We have also last year conducted a survey with the aim to learn about the non-cost country participants and collect the views and opinions and stories on the research participation. And the survey actually showed us that its findings reassured that cost is seen indeed as a useful instrument to get engaged or maintain cooperation with European peers. And that is what we are basically offering. I think it's also not unimportant to mention that apart from participating in the cost program itself, and my colleagues will go into the details, what concrete kind of activities you can participate in. We also see let's say, our very positive surprise in quotation marks, that every year 60 of our cost actions complete their 4-year lifetime. Typically an action has a duration of 4 years. The spin-off, let's say, proposals that are a result of people meeting each other in those cost actions and deciding to jointly submit proposals, for example, in other parts of the Horizon 2020 framework program, and very soon it will be in the sphere of Horizon Europe, that altogether these spin-off proposals that have successfully been approved led to a total value of 5.8 million euros. And over the total duration of Horizon 2020 so far, an amount of 2.6 billion euros spun off from the cost, let's say, activities. Now, if you then consider that the cost program envelope for the Horizon 2020 period was 300 million euros, I think this shows that there's an enormous leverage factor that the cost program achieve, apart from, let's say, the value offered by our own activities. So we are quite proud to make this contribution. Then I think it's also important to point out that cooperation, let's say, with communities beyond the cost countries always is based on the so-called a certain mutual benefit. So it's not that everybody can just walk in, but as soon as there is a benefit of your participation, given your, let's say, background, your track record, and it makes sense, of course, to join this action, then you can, of course, completely benefit from all the opportunities that COST provide. This goes into training schools, you can go on short-term scientific missions, you can participate in dissemination activities, science communication. But apart from that, we really have made, I think, a huge effort to even add more value to our community's participation. Because on top of the, let's say, the cost actions, each cost participant has the possibility to enjoy training. This is completely free of charge. It's training under the umbrella of the Cost Academy. We have trainings for example, ground holders. How do you manage the ground from a financial administrative way? We have trainings on science communication. We have trainings on how do you actually continue your activities after the 4 years lifetime of an action, and many more things that we have. On top of that, we also organize stakeholder events. We call them Cost Connect, and these events typically bring together participants from cost actions that are focused on a topic that is high on the European Union's policy agenda. And in addition, we invite also stakeholders from other parts of the Horizon 2020 framework program, including also the EU institutions themselves, Commission or executive agency representatives, European Parliament. We bring them together in a very high quality and participative event in order to make progress. So, and this is something that is done on top, let's say, of the core action activities. Now, my colleagues will explain you a lot more into the details of this. I would like to remain by underlining that this is cost is about people, first and foremost, and providing opportunities for growth and development. Last but not least, I'm very delighted to have Dr. Hanin from Tunisia and Dr. Kochuba from Ukraine amongst us, and they will be sharing their first-hand experience about their participation in COST. So I wish you a wonderful day and inspiring presentations, and I hope very soon to see many of you in action, I would say, maybe sometimes also meeting on our premises in Brussels. So thank you very much again, and I wish you a very fruitful event.
Thank you very much, Ronald. Excellent. Now, after this presentation of and welcome word, we would like to, before we jump to the first presentation from our COST colleague, launch the first poll. So you will see the question on the screen. So in the next slide, there will be the question to know you better. So to know better our audience. So because we introduced ourselves, but we don't know who is in the audience. So I would like you to answer the following poll question. So if you see the poll on the screen, probably Kata can then a slide, change the next slide also. So voila, so we're tabulating the results of the question. So the question was, have you heard about COST before today? Actually, before you received the invitation to the today webinar. So it was a closed question, so you could only answer by yes or no. And I see almost 50-50 in the audience have never heard about COST before this event, and half of the participants have already heard, at least heard, maybe participated in the COST action. Okay, I end polling here. So but still, yeah, I see that people are you having problems to vote? Because I see now only 68% have voted. If you don't see the button to answer, you just click on yes or no. Well, now it's already better. So 70% of the participants have voted. Another few seconds just to finish the poll. Okay. So yeah, 50-50, really. I end the poll now. So voila, and this will allow us to know better how, or if we put the stress on the new information or only on the already information you're supposed to know. So I end the polling here and I share the results. Here you see the results. So we have more people in the audience who have not heard about the cost before today. Okay, thank you. So have we carry forward, Katalin?
Thank you, Svetlana, and thank you for the introduction for Ronald. Now we will go and have a look in the actual content of cost, and we will have 3 presentations divided by a break by 3 colleagues. And meanwhile, we are working that we have that the event is going to be also broadcasted in YouTube, so people who could not enter the meeting could also have an access to the content. So first of all, the 3 presentations will look into what cost is and how it operates, and which are the moments when the possibilities to join. The first presentation will be given by Michael Perro, my colleague from the Science Operation Unit. He will speak about how the cost program operates, and more specifically about the open call. You will have the possibility to have some questions directly after the presentation related to the technical content of the presentation. So, Michael, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Kata, and it's a pleasure to be here today. It's true, it was really nice to have the national coordinators last week, and now we have many participants to explain a little bit what cost is about. So yes, the focus of this short presentation will be about the open call. And when we say open call, is the open call for proposals. So COST launches every year an open call to receive proposals from the research community for possible new cost actions. And there are some, let's say, okay, maybe before this, there's just one quick comment, and this I want to jump on what Ronald was saying about what is a near neighbor country, because this sometimes it's a category that is not very well understood. Here you see a map. You will have you have in red the cost members, so the official cost members, and today you are representing, or you're certainly being located in a near neighbor country, and you can see it on the map. The near neighbor countries are actually in blue in this map. And so, as Svetlana mentioned this morning, we focus, let's say, the presentation, we tune this presentation more towards you. So all you participants that are present in the blue countries. So yeah, coming back to the open call, there's some principle behind the proposals that COS is expecting from the research community. The first point is that they have to somehow innovate in different dimensions, maybe in scientific terms, in technological terms, economic or culture. So we expect the actions indeed to have an impact on society. The second point is that we do not discriminate among scientific fields. So meaning that actually cost is supporting actions coming from all kinds of fields and even multidisciplinary, so representing different scientific fields. So we don't, cost does not apply some kind of a call per thematic. We expect the thematic to come from the research communities. And clearly, one of the idea of a proposal is indeed to tighten up the collaboration and the connection between people in different countries. So we want indeed to reduce the gap not only between the scientists located in different countries, but also the proposal should be aimed at connecting also people from different backgrounds, maybe from the science world, but also the policy world, from different stakeholders and so on. Ultimately, after the proposals go through a set of a selection process, it leads to a cost action. And my colleague Inga, just after, will explain a bit more about the cost action. So how does it happen? A proposal, a cost action proposal, when submitted, is a one-step. It's a one-step submission system. Everything is done via our eCost platform. So Cost has a eCost platform that you can also visit and register in it. When a proposal is submitted, it needs to have at least 7 countries being represented. And this is one first element as an input to you from as NNC, Near Neighbour Country potential participant, is that you can already be part of the network of proposers, which means that when a proposal is submitted, behind the proposal, there are people, and as Near Neighbour Country participants, you can also be part of this process from the very early stage, even at the proposal stage. Usually what the experience that we have is that if you have been participating to a cost action, it's easier to have the connections with the different research network in order to be part to a future proposal submission, which is usually a good first entry point into the cost program. The open call, so some key elements. So the next collection date, which means the date where we collect all the proposals that are submitted and then they start the selection process. The next collection date is on the 29th of October this year. So you see there's a little bit of time here to connect with network of proposals that want to submit a proposal. As I mentioned before, it's a one-stage online submission. And just a reiteration, of course, the main proposer that will submit the proposal should be from a cost member country. However, the secondary proposals can be from near neighbor countries. So this is where you can have here an interesting contribution. For your knowledge, we have about 40 to 45 actions approved per call. We have usually a submission of about 500 to 600 proposals. So at the very beginning, at the collection date stage, but at the end, we have about, after the selection process, 40 to 45 actions approved. So let's look a little bit, focus on the selection process. In order to make the selection of a proposal, we need to call for evaluators, what we call independent external experts. For each proposal is evaluated by 3 independent external experts. And how are they selected? Well, they are selected out of the pool of experts that we have, that Cost has in the eCost system. So here it's another point that I would like to make, is that you can, as near neighbor country expert, researcher, be part of this pool of researchers evaluating the proposal. Okay, so you can be also a cost expert, which can be beneficial for you, not only to look at what are to let's say, support the open call and the selection, but also to be aware of the latest trends. And of course, this comes with a honoraria, which means that for a proposal evaluation, the expert is being retributed in money terms. After the stage of the evaluation of each proposal, then it continues the selection process. There's some quality check made by what we call the review panel quality check, and then it's followed by a more governance aspect, which is the selection by the cost scientific committee. At the end of the line, we have these 40 to 45 actions approved per open call. But let me highlight the point here. The key point is you can act as an external expert for the cost evaluation system. So this is again, I highlight this point in how to do this. You see here on the screen and on the right-hand side, you have a very simple address in the website www.costeu/experts, where you can register into the database. And when you complete your profile, you can also tick a little box that will make you available to the pool of experts that COST has in order to call for experts. All these slides, by the way, will be shared to you after this meeting. So the next open call, I mentioned that the next collection date will be on the 29th October 2021. So from now until then, the good strategy, let's say, if you are interested in joining an action, is actually to get connected to the existing, so the network of proposals that are preparing a proposal. And please know that actually we already had, we are actually currently running the collection day that happened last year, at the end of last year. And soon we will have new actions approved, which will be basically available online. So new cost actions set up that will be available for you to see on the COST website. And of course, from their approval, you can also initiate an application to actually be part of this cost action. But this is another way of engaging with cost, which is engaging with a running cost action. And this will be presented by my colleague Inga just right after. So now, there was a lot of information provided here to you. I hope you can see in summary what are the two main ways in which you can engage. And I will here launch a poll. Actually, I share the screen, so maybe if Svetlana, you share the poll for me, which is let's say a little quiz regarding some elements that I mentioned during the presentation. So could you please see how can you answer how can you think you can engage with cost at the open call stage?
I'm waiting, Michael, because
Yeah.
we still have 59%, only 60% have voted. So we're just trying to reach a little bit a bigger number to see whether people really it was whether the information was clear about the submission of a proposal to an open call. So we're just almost there, 67%, and then I will end and share the results.
Thank you. I think it's it's already a good number. I think it's significant enough.
Okay, good.
Okay, so you can see from the answers here. So yeah, let's quickly browse. I'm happy that actually the most of you actually identify that there's two ways indeed to get involved at the open call stage, which is as a secondary proposer or as a cost expert, which is correct. For those who don't know, maybe I will do a better presentation next time. But please refer to the different links that that will be made available to you after the meeting. And let me just answer that. Unfortunately, currently only researchers from cost countries, so not near neighbor countries, can act as a main proposer. Okay, I think this is the end for me now, and I can pass back the host to Katalin. Thank you, Svetlana, for sharing the poll.
Thank you very much for this part. And then I think now, Mikael, sorry if I'm repeating something, but meanwhile we were working in the background on the YouTube channel setup. Have you already had the question part?
I'm sorry?
Have you already had the question part?
No, I didn't have the Q&A. It's correct.
Then
yes, we can have a...
It's coming, the Q&A with Mikael. Only today, only now, this is for you. So please, if you have questions, concerning this presentation that you just that you could hear from Michael just now. Please put it in the chat, and so we can see and also answer. The first three questions will be answered. Okay.
Yeah, especially directed to those that the more or less 50% that said I don't know, so it's still not clear to them. Maybe it's good to know from our side what exactly was not clear. Yeah, that would be useful. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not I cannot see the chat as at this stage. Can you have a look?
Yes, I'm doing that.
Thank you.
But at the moment, what I can see is that the first question from Natalia is that if near neighbor countries cannot be main proposers in open calls, can they?
How can they?
If they can be main proposers in the open call or not?
So the answer is no. So the main proposer, so really the application, so the person that presses the button to submit a proposal, this person needs to be affiliated to an institution in a cost country, not a near neighbor country, in a cost member country. So at your level, it would be to be part of what we call a secondary proposer. So you basically, you are part of the network of the people that indeed draft the proposal to be submitted. But the ultimate person who needs to submit in the system must be located in a cost country.
Mm-hmm. Another question was, what are the main criteria for becoming an expert?
Okay, so this is actually, in the open call, this is a work that as Sense Officer, Inga and I are doing now. So we are working on the evaluation. The way that we proceed is basically that we are going through first of all, a match making of the proposal expertise that is needed in order to be evaluated, and the profile of the experts. Which means that from your side, if you want to be, let's say, picked as an expert, what is very important is to fill in well your profile in eCost as an expert. Tick the little box that you make yourself available to become an expert, and pay a lot of attention in the CV, the CV that you are uploading. Okay, so this is very important to take good care to have a CV that is complete, comprehensive, as well as updated. Mm-hmm. And also, the eCost account will ask you to fill in your domain of expertise. The important is really to focus on really your core expertise, but not necessarily in terms of, and not necessarily put a very large number of expertise, because this usually limits the chance of you being picked. So what we're interested is really people that are experts in a given field. So pay attention, first of all, to the CV that you're uploading in the system, and the second, to pick well the expertise, the domains of expertise that you are filling in. These are the two main recommendations I could give in order to be picked up as an expert.
Okay. Thank you, Michael. There are many questions that are asking for the presentation. I have the good news that the presentation will be available online at the event webpage of the Cost Association, where you could already find the event advertisement. We will also make a Twitter and Facebook announcement about its availability, so you can download it from there. Meanwhile, we have launched the meeting in YouTube because there are many people who couldn't get into this event. It was already full, the room. So if you have colleagues that are outside and would like to join, please ask them to go to the Cost YouTube channel And I will put the link to the presentation or the event in the chat now. Okay. And I think there was a last question, which was about the sudden number of minimum participants. And the question was about if it is necessary from the seven participants to come from different countries. Mikael, can you elaborate? Can you elaborate that, please? And then we will go for the next presentation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, apologies, I didn't catch the question. So southern participants?
That the 7 participants that are needed to launch a cost proposal, would they need to come from different countries?
Yes, indeed. This would be 7 members from different cost member countries, indeed, to submit a proposal. Well, just for as an information, when we look at the proposal and the statistics at the submission stage, we have on average we are well beyond this number. It's very rare that a proposal doesn't reach 7 cost members.
Okay. So thank you very much. And then this is the moment to go to the next speaker, which is my colleague from also from the Science Operation Unit, Inga Dadeshize, who will explain the other half of what is need to be known on how to access and how to get involved in cost activities, which are the cost actions. So Inga, the floor is yours for explaining the cost actions.
Thank you, Katalin. Yeah, good morning, everyone. And I'm very happy to be with you today to explain how cost program operates. And Mikael, can you give me a control?
Sure, you have it.
Thank you. So, and this is the one main instrument we have. This is cost action. And since its inception, cost, I don't have, cost is, it was 50 years ago in 1971. Cost has been supporting science and technology-driven networks, cost actions. So cost actions are composed of representatives of different countries. And you see here, and Mikael already mentioned, to submit the proposal for cost action, for new cost action, there needs to be one main proposer. And also there are some main or secondary proposers, all from minimum 7 cost countries. And of course, there could be also international partners from near neighbor countries involved already at that stage. In fact, if this proposal is approved for funding, others can also join. You see here, others also are coming. And of course, you can see that near neighbor countries also can join. Representatives from these countries also can join at that stage, very beginning of the action. And when action is ready to start, this will happen, and it can happen also at any stage of the action before its last year. And the cost action representatives from different countries, they compose and they form management committee of the action. Near neighbor countries representatives can join also management committee like observers. So this is about the action, and the main subject of cost actions can be on innovative and emerging topics in any science and technological disciplines. As Michael already mentioned, so it is a bottom-up approach in selection of actions in open call, and this is approach in open call procedure. They are open environment for new ideas. So, for new ideas and for spreading excellence and promoting scientific, technological, economic, cultural, and societal innovation in Europe and beyond. Cost actions are perfect instruments to accommodate all needs in tackling societal challenges from the perspective of different sectors. And this happens to close some gaps between academia, industry, policymakers, and society. This is also, they tackle all these challenges with the multi-scale and interdisciplinary approach. So researchers and innovators with diverse background, all of which share a common focus and interest on some aspects in this and a topic of the action, they join their forces to expedite and to expand, to advance the field and to create knowledge and apply this knowledge and to focus on outputs, on also to create impact and to respond also cost excellence and inclusiveness policy with three main elements. This is geographical spread. It is also a career stage, so to involve as much as possible young researchers and gender balance. This plays an important role in widening participation, especially for near neighbor countries as well, and also to young and female talents. Okay, so action in its nutshell, as I already mentioned, this is network of all interested stakeholders. This is, oh, sorry, I need to go back. It goes too fast, sorry. So the action is in the memorandum of understanding of the action, and it's created based on proposal which was submitted in the open call. A memorandum of understanding sets action objectives and program for 4 years. So action is 4 years, the duration of the action is 4 years. Country participation, it does not react. Country participation, we already mentioned, it is minimum 7 countries to start new action, this is requirement. And also actions are focused on research coordination, and all these objectives with specific objectives, and all these objectives are addressed in the action working groups. Also actions have their strategy, how to involve, how to attract key stakeholders, and how to create impact and to build capacity. Average annual support for action is 100, oh God, again, back, sorry. Average annual support for cost action is 129,000, and roughly for 4 years, this is 500,000 euros. So to reach their objectives and deliverables, or to tackle these challenges, as I already mentioned, they have 4-year program, and they have in their remits some networking tools, which are for, of course, meetings for management committee. This is for coordination and management of the action. For working groups, they meet also to coordinate the research, and also they offer training schools to train the young or other scientists, members of the action on specific subject which is relevant to the subject of the action. They organize also workshops and conferences and some specific maybe meetings which are directed, so some showcases or some devoted meetings to specific stakeholders. Very important tool is short-term scientific missions. This is very useful to produce the outputs of the action and also to have some impact of career of young researchers. Most of the researchers who performed these short-term scientific missions, they indicated that this significantly and positively affected their career. I have very straightforward example of young researcher from who was postdoc. She was STSM grantee and the Action Chairs in the Action Chairs Lab. And after this short-term scientific mission, she submitted to continue this project. She submitted the proposal for Marie Curie, Horizon 2020 Marie Curie Actions Individual Fellowship, and she was granted. And finally, this very successful short-term scientific mission will lead to the creation of new and first lab in her country, RNA lab, and to transfer knowledge there. This is really big achievement of this action, outcome from this tool as well. Actions also, they have a strategy how to disseminate their results and how to attract some stakeholders and how to communicate. This happens via their websites, some publications, position papers or guidelines, and other dissemination and communication means. Now about how to engage in cost actions. Sorry. For near neighbors country researchers interested in joining ongoing actions is possible at any stage, as I already mentioned, before last year of their lifetime. The procedure is easy, very fast, and without any kind of proposal competition phase, and it is just based on mutual interest between action and the applicant. Once they join, they become, as I already mentioned, management committee observer, and they can express their view on this subject when the discussions are ongoing in management committee of these recognized networks. And they join one of several working groups as well. They need to contribute in working groups of their interest and contributing to their research goals and producing outputs. They can benefit from short-term scientific missions, as you see, from training schools
Дякую.
as well.
Перший раз, що я так до кінця всіх слухаю, не вмішувався в дискусію.
By the action.
Ну, дивіться, що стосується відносин з урядовими структурами. Мова.
Sorry. And of course, they are also welcome to participate in all meetings organized by the actions. And on top also, they can become the ad hoc contributor of one action, which they don't participate yet, but they have collaborators who are members of the action, and they can be also near neighbor countries representatives can participate and can be invited speakers for any of meetings organized by the action. As Michael already mentioned, there is a possibility to register like external expert, and all cost actions are monitored during their lifetime, and they are assessed according to their achievements, final achievements. And this is also option for near neighbor countries representatives. They can be invited like rapporteurs to conduct, to take this role of rapporteur to monitor or to assess cost actions. Okay. It was not changed. So I want also to highlight here that it is very important pre-portal nature of cost to the European research area. Sort of the cost actions, they are sort of a springboard to European projects, other funding opportunities and collaborative activities. One example I already mentioned, and you can see also now on slides that how successful our cost actions are in applications of Horizon 2020. So all ended actions, they reported that 296 proposals got funding out of 798, and this is very high success rate, which is 37%. So it's very low. When it is applied from the actions, it's really increased the possibility to get funding. What I want to mention also that all information on cost action is available on our website. So you can see now that you have this searching button, and you can find that browse the action, and after you can also use some keywords to choose the interesting subjects, some actions. Also, you can see here that you have information, and you can have some actions already, and you can have this advanced search possibility. To search some of your actions which you are interested to participate. After you see all information, memorandum of understanding of the action, and you can see also this all members of the action chair, vice chair, and also you can see memorandum of understanding, which is very important. You can see if someone sees that the overlaps or somehow complements their own research, they directly contact the action chair and can express also their interest to join this action. And after procedure is very simple, very easy. It's just action chair needs to start this procedure, and after it's very simple approval from a management committee and from cost association finally. So we encourage the near neighbor countries participants to participate in all engage in cost activities or cost actions, of course. And as said, this procedure is very simple and convenient, and we all constantly are engaged to improve it and make it more convenient for our near neighbor country participants. I think I end, and now it is Paul also about that what was presented. If you have information enough for this, there will be some questions, please.
Already 63%.
Okay.
So if I should stop.
Yeah.
Okay, I end polling now. So we have already quite a good, voila.
Okay. So it seems that something was not clear, that some answers were the action chair to join the cost action. We already mentioned that it's not possible to, this chair normally it needs to be from the cost countries, but all near neighbor countries representatives are welcome to join, like management committee observers, and to contribute working groups. So this is fine. Okay, now we have questions and answers. Very popular questions will be answered. Very short time we have here, 10 minutes just. I need to check chat, but
There is one question. Thank you very much, Inga, for the presentation. There is already one question or two questions concerning what is the funding amount and what is actually the funding covers. If it what kind of eligible costs there are, and if there are any special conditions for private companies.
There are no special conditions for private companies, because they can join, as I already mentioned, representatives from organizations affiliated in the research organizations who are conducting research, they can join. And this also, yeah, and it was about budget, right? Some eligibility questions will be answered by Svetlana in her presentation, right? So maybe it will be more clear there. I will not touch here, but budget covers all networking activities of the actions, which are meetings, working groups, and working group meetings, management committee meetings, conferences, workshops, and training schools, and also dissemination activities. Their dissemination, online dissemination, some other communications, and of course scientific publications and articles as well, open access publications, for instance. And as I mentioned, the average budget is per year, it's 129,000 for networking activities.
Another question, it concerns the expert, to be an expert, but I'm very confident, and Inga, you can answer to that one. Though it was presented by Mikael, the question is if being a cost expert is a voluntary or a paid job.
It is kind of, both maybe. I don't know. It is, yeah, it is honor to be, and we are honored if you contribute, and it's paid job, but the honorarium for example, in open call not so high. But it's anyway, it is some experience, and for monitoring of cost actions, there is honorarium. I think it is 300, if I am not wrong. Yeah, it is paid, but honorarium not so high. Let's say this way.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. And the last question for this part is there is a request to please repeat the 3 possibilities to join a cost action. Which are the 3 options to
cost actions? So they can join if they collaborate with someone. They can join at proposal stage, and if this action is approved, they can its proposers are considered like founders of the action, so they can join at the beginning, starting phase of the action. They can join at any stage of the action, at any year of the running of the running action. Before last year it's not possible. Yeah, according to current rules. And possibility also to join as ad hoc participant if they are invited in the meetings. They are not participating in the action, but they are invited to speak at the meeting, to have talk at the meeting, this kind of participation. And also they are invited also they are welcome to register themselves like experts, like Mikael already explained, and this is to participation in our open call, like external expert to evaluate proposals, and also to monitor our cost actions, running actions, and to assess ending actions.
Okay. Thank you very much for answering also this question, and thank you very much for your good questions and attention that you showed up until this part of the meeting. And we know that sitting in front of the screen is more tiring than being in an actual conference. We would like to offer a 5-minute break, but it's really just for you to stretch, to get a glass of water, coffee or tea or whatever you'd prefer. And then we still have 3 very, very important and very insightful presentations, which will look into the benefit of participating in cost. First by my colleague Svetlana, who will tell you kind of the technical details. And then we will have living examples. We have 2 participants from 2 different near neighbor countries. We have Professor Mais Hanin from Tunisia and Igor Kochuiba, I hope I pronounced your name well, from Ukraine, who will tell you from the other side, the experience, what they lived through and how they got connected to cost and what they actually achieved with the help of cost, and how they feel as a cost participant. So now I will ask you, please don't leave the meeting, because now we are complete in Zoom. So if you leave, we might not be able to know who was in and who is out. You can switch off your cameras and you are all muted anyway. So in 5 minutes, we have 11:04 according to Brussels times. So 11:10, we will reconvene the meeting and continue the presentations and looking into the insights of the cost program. So please stay with us, get something to drink, stretch a bit, and come back and also prepare your questions for the question and answer session. See you back in 5 minutes. Thank you very much. Oops.
Kata, more people in the waiting room.
Yes, but we are full. So I'm sorry, I can't. I already sent messages in the waiting room. I'm sorry, I'm looking for this one. So we are in a break. People in the waiting room, if you know the people in the waiting room, please also send them the message that unfortunately the Zoom capacities has been reached, or fortunately, we are very happy to have so many attendees today. But we also stream the meeting on Zoom on YouTube, whose link is provided in the chat, which there's 2 or 3 messages sent to the people in the waiting room. So they should link to the Zoom meeting and continue to watch the meeting, or can we participate at the meeting there.
Kata, Kata, may I share my presentation myself?
Yes, of course.
I wrote Michael in chat, so maybe it's better to avoid complication with this. Okay, so if you stop sharing, I will share my screen.
Yes, I will stop, but it's just for the break time, so people.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. I will share my screen now.
Okay, after the break, no?
No, just because it will save time if I launch it already at my point at my presentation. Yep.
Yes, but as we are at the moment in the break session, maybe people will misunderstand, because we said that it will be a 5-minute break now.
Yes. No, I got it. I understand. Yes.
Okay. So I will, at the end of the break, I will take away my screen and you can launch yours.
Okay, now it's 10 past 11. So should we go to the next presentation about the benefits of participating in COST activities? So rather than giving you technical details, I would like to make this presentation lively and give you as many examples as possible for you to understand how the cost can be beneficial for you, what is the advantages for you, and how you can benefit from the cost funding. So here on the screen, you have already a list of different benefits from participating in cost actions. There are scientific, of course, benefit because by connecting with other people, there will be advance in scientific research. Of course, the networking, because cost only funds networking activities, does not fund research or lecture fees or salaries, but we pay networking mobility, and also the mobility will give you more visibility of your research. Maybe it will lead also to career opportunities, and also all these networking activities are funded by cost. So how really can you benefit from the cost funding if you join a cost action? So let's go step by step. First, I would like to talk to you about cost meetings and training schools. So cost meetings are meant for exchange of knowledge. Also, working group meetings are the meetings where the knowledge is created and exchanged, it's shared. So meetings are also for networking, to meet new people, to learn about their research, to inform them about what you do, and to maybe also have more visibility through these mobility activities, and career opportunities, and are also very, very much available to you after the participation and during the participation in cost actions. And of course, you can benefit from the financial support. So to give you an example, I will take an example of one researcher in Belarus who is doing research with cancer cells. So this researcher scientist is doing research in her country, and she knows about European institutions doing also research in cancer domain, with working with cancer cells, but they don't know about the Belarus research possibilities and infrastructure. So luckily, she learns about very good advancement in science done in Germany, in Magdeburg University, and also in France and Italy. People are doing research in this domain, actually very interdisciplinary domain, because it's involves chemists, it involves pharmacists, and also medical doctors for the applications of the research. So this researcher from Belarus joined the cost action because those people are already working on this topic in a cost action. So this will enable this person to travel to cost meeting, to inform people about her research, and to learn and to meet new stakeholders, to share results, share efforts, share also funds, because the funds for research are sometimes limited. So all this cost will be given to you. And how it is done in practice. So by attending cost meetings and also training schools, because you, as a researcher from near neighboring country, you are eligible to be reimbursed for your attendance of the meeting, training schools also as trainee and trainer. And for all these activities, you will receive reimbursement in terms of daily allowance and reimbursement of your travel. So I will say a few words about cost cost daily allowance is a very, very simple, it's very flexible tool and scheme of reimbursement. It's also very attractive and also fast, the reimbursement fast. So we work with our grant holders. I will spare you the details, but we really ensure that the reimbursement is done very, very quickly after the event. So daily allowance, it's a package, it's not dividable, but it's a very attractive package because you can spend the amount as you wish. So we don't ask the receipts. So we will not ask you to provide hotel bills or restaurant bills or any local transportation receipts in the meeting country. It's only daily allowance. It's per day. So attractive amount is between 160 and 200 euros in the most expensive countries, because daily allowance depend on the meeting country. So its daily allowance is the same for all meeting participants. There's no discrimination whatsoever, but it depends on the meeting country, taking into account the cost of living in the meeting country. But of course, daily allowance will depend on the travel times, because it's also covering not only meeting days, so 160 or 200 it's per day, per meeting day, plus also the travel days before and after the meeting, but taking into account the travel time. So it's maybe not full daily allowance, it's only the percentage. And also to avoid double payments, all meals, for each meal provided by local organizer, 10% are deducted from the daily allowance. And it can be also adapted for each meeting and training school. We as cost do not decide which daily allowance the action would apply, but the management committee members can decide to low daily allowance if they want to have a bigger meeting, but the allocated budget for meeting is already maybe a little bit tight to reimburse all the participants, so they can low daily allowance for daily the meeting to invite more participants, and in this way to share the cost. For the training schools, you also can be at the first stage maybe a trainee, so trainee to just absorb the knowledge, to receive the knowledge. If you join cost action, so you can be reimbursed as a trainee, or they maybe on in the year after you will be a trainer, so it will be a recognition for you. You will be able to train other people, and training school allow also to have hand-on sessions, so some exercises, some practical sessions to really apply the experimental part. So the meetings, reimbursement of the participants, it's not all. Someone has to pay for the meeting organizations, for the coffee breaks, for various expenses related to meetings like conference dinner, rental of conference room, etc., etc. So all this is also covered from the cost budget. So we do not let you to pay for the meeting organization. Cost can provide for that to cover all eligible expenses, and also this will give you visibility. So as a researcher from a near neighboring country, you can organize cost meetings at your institution if you're formally participating in an action, and also with an approval of science officer, you can also organize training schools. So you will be really in the center of the attention as a local organizer. It will be a great opportunity for you, for your visibility, for networking. Also, you can invite local colleagues from your country to the meeting and involve some students to give them a push in their career, to open their horizons. So we provide financial support for that. And there are also very flexible schemes and a choice. Either you can be paid based on a flat rate of based on the number of the participants, or you can, if it's up to 5,000 euros maximum. If it's not enough, up to 10,000 euros, a contribution from cost can be claimed for the organization of bigger events. So, and let me give you another example. So about this very good opportunity for people to participate in COST meeting. There was an expert from the near neighboring country who shared his experience with us. He said that after his presentation in the COST meeting, during the coffee break, another researcher approached him and said, well, I really liked your presentation and you're so enthusiastic about your country. So I would really like to come to your country for the sightseeing and also to learn more about the research you do in your institution. So this is really great visibility and the possibility to promote the country among the European researchers. So now about the COST STSM grants. STSM stands for short-term scientific missions. Sometimes they are not so short. Actually, the minimum duration of a scientific mission is 5 working days, but it can be unlimited. So the STSM grants is a real opportunity to advance science, because you can go to another institution and to work for 2-3 months and to receive up to 3,500 euros grant. Since it's a grant, we don't ask you to provide any receipts, no travel receipt, no accommodation receipt, no restaurants subsisted, nothing at all. You would only estimate the cost of your short-term scientific mission. So according to the duration. So of course, 3,500 is for longer stays. It's not for 5 days short-term scientific mission. But for example, a researcher from Ukraine is doing research in water pollution. So, and studying the impact of the water pollution on the marine organisms, species. So, and this researcher learns that in Italy, they have a great submarine laboratory enabling to have samples from open sea. So the researcher from Ukraine can go and work for a few months, benefit from the infrastructure, from the available equipment in Italy, and to produce a report to receive the payment of the grant. And very often the reports are published. They become articles or joint publications. So it's also very important for the career and for the visibility of the researchers. So dissemination is also another item that another budget line that COST covers, and this COST dissemination really a great opportunity for your visibility. So we not only we pay for the COST Action website to distribute the information between the meetings, to find the contact points, find other researchers, and to be actually informed about the action work. But we also fund scientific publications like open access. The only limitation here, requirement, is that it should be co-authored by 3 different COST parties. Printed material, of course, also for the actions, they want to print books, brochures and posters, etc., etc. These are all eligible expenses. And now, especially now in the current situation, when you have it's impossible to travel, there are closed borders. So do the COST meetings stop? Not, absolutely not. We continue COST meetings in a virtual setting, and in this case, virtual dissemination tools get more and more importance. Only 1 year ago, we didn't hear about webinars and about MOOCs. So these are massive open online courses, and now these are new words in our vocabulary. So COST Actions can produce videos, podcast, animation, multimedia, etc., and everything is covered by cost. So where to find more information? I only gave you just an overview of the possibilities, and I listed the tools, but now it's up to you to find more information about the cost tools. So on the cost website, you will find a document called Vademecum. It's here you see on the screen the link, and it's in the documents and guidelines. So on the home page, you see the funding, and here highlighted. If you click on funding and scroll down, you will see key documents, and the most important documents. It's the summary of all the rules about eligibility, about reimbursement, about all the possibilities that you have that I only quickly listed today. You can find in the cost Vademecum. So we don't learn from facts and figures, of course. We learn by doing. So keep in mind that cost Vademecum will not make you better scientist. And it's like reading about tennis will not make you better tennis player, or reading recipes will not make you better cook. You have to take all these tools and apply them in practice. So you learn by doing. And all we have done today is to point you in the right direction. Here I stop my presentation. Thank you so much. And if there are questions related to what I've just presented, or we will wait after the testimonials in a more general session. So we have a general Q&A session. Please, maybe some of the points you're not very comfortable what I presented. So maybe you have some fears. Please don't hesitate. Ask your questions.
Thank you, Svetlana, for the presentation. We have some questions. And actually, I also encourage people to put some questions concerning your presentation. So we follow the same scheme as we did for the first two presentations. The first question is if there are any deadline for application. And the second question is if there is any cost covered by the cost actions for the open source publications.
Okay, let me first understand the first question. I think it's related. Is there a deadline to join a cost action? That I understand it like that. So Inga already mentioned that in her publication, in her presentation, that actually we do not accept other application to join in the last year of the action. So when you find the action that is interesting to you, look for the end date. So the end date is also indicated on the website. So if you see that the action is ending, or maybe it has already ended, so there's no point, but look if it's the action is to be ended very soon, so there's no point also, especially now in today's context that you cannot really travel and do the exchanges. The second question was about
the open source publications and their financing.
Yes, if it's an action, open access, right? Open access publications, yes. They're on my screen here and on my previous screen here. I think open access here, scientific publication. They have to be co-authored by 3 different. So books or open access publications under licenses can be funded, of course, but it should be joint publication. Thank you. Other questions?
At the moment, there are no more questions concerning the presentation. There is even a comment that very good presentation, everything is clear. Thank you very much, Rusudan Setirudze. And then I think we can, all the remaining questions that are coming in, we will tackle during the Q&A session at the end of the meeting. But before we get there, I think we have the most exciting parts coming, and I give the floor to Inga to introduce this part. Inga, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Kata. Svetlana, yes, thank you, Svetlana. Yes, more exciting and a very, very important part now to near neighbor country representatives. They will share their experience, how they engaged in cost action and what was benefit from their participation in cost action. So first is Dr. Igor Kotsuba from PMA, National Academy of Science of Ukraine in Kiev. And this is action participation in CA 17124, digital forensics, evidence analysis via intelligent systems and practices. So Igor, please, floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you. I hope you hear me well, right?
Yes.
Super. Yeah, my name is Igor Kotsuba. I'm from Ukraine, Kiev, and basically, I don't want to sound like pompous or something, but my life is basically, I can divide it into two parts, before cost action and after. And I will explain why, just because like 3 years ago, I joined ongoing cost action, digital forensics. We basically explore the possibilities of artificial intelligence for digital forensics. And as you may understand from the name of this action, we've got law enforcement agencies there and from all European countries, digital forensics institutes. And I want to say that for me as Ukrainian scientist, there is no other way or legal framework to collaborate with such institutions. So that's why I feel that cost action here has got the most impact on my let's say career. So I was, and another really great thing about cost actions, just because you vote for some management committee members, and this specific approach to let early career investigators to be on board is just amazing, just because I'm classified as an early career. So I was invited to management committees, and I have this opportunity to collaborate with top researchers in Europe in my field. So after that, we also submitted few proposals for Horizon 2020 together with people I met in cost action. I was a participant of few winter schools and summer schools where we had an amazing bunch of speakers, practitioners. Then in my institute in Ukraine, I've got PhD students I'm advising, and so they are participating in those schools as well. We published a lot together with all those amazing people. We, with another group of people, we wrote a proposal for next cost action. And cost action allows us to dream, to basically submit the proposals about some things we can never submit in Horizon 2020, for instance, just because like Horizon framework, it's a frame, and we can look only at Horizon. I mean, at specific calls. In cost action, we can look into the space, let's say, or into the atmosphere. I mean, we can create any proposal we want. So we decided, basically, that was my initiative. And today, by the way, I voted for being a main writer of proposal, just because it's strong affirmation from my side, right? We are near neighbor country. I'm near neighbor for cost, but I'm that neighbor that quite often in the house, you know. So I hope that very soon I will be Ukraine, my country, will be in the family, and we will be main authors of proposals. Just because we submitted recently amazing idea of having digital forensics, cyber forensics readiness for supply chains, like for food supply chain or any other critical and essential supply chains. In another proposal, we submitted the idea of communication between CERT teams in European and near neighbor countries. CERT teams are first teams that respond to the cyber attacks. And there is lack of communication. And again, there is no other legal framework to enable this communication. And cost action drives this, it's so well. And I don't know any other framework for us. And basically for European countries as well. I mean, there is such lack of communication. And cost action just breaks down the silos. I really like this English phrase, right? So enables communication, enables networking. And basically, I do believe that the main objectives of any scientist are being visible, publish, and communicate. And cost action just fires in all of those things. So thank you. I'm done with my speech.
Thank you very much, Igor. It's amazing. Yeah, thanks a lot. You really, I hope that all that they want to apply to join cost action and to benefit all this. Next speaker is also very experienced in the participation of cost actions, Dr. Hanin Moes from University of Sfax, and this action one is already ended. It's a consensus and transdisciplinary integrated approach, and the one it's still running action. This is the impact of nuclear domains on gene expression and plant traits. So, Hanin, please, floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. I'm really pleased to participate in this Near Neighbor Country Awareness Day. Thanks for the organizers to give me this opportunity to give this short testimony on my own experience. My name is Moez Hanin. I'm a professor in molecular biology and plant biotechnology at the Institute of Biotechnology, the University of Sfax. I'm also the head of functional genomics and plant physiology. And I'm really happy to give you my opinion and how I was living this experience with cost action, especially the one which is running now, which is called In-Depth. In-Depth stands for impact of nuclear domains on gene expression and plant traits. It's an action which is led by a colleague in Clermont-Ferrand, Christophe Tatou. It's about a network which is trying to understand how nuclear architecture, chromatin organization, and gene expression are all connected together, and to help a plant to respond to different environmental stresses. It's really a very exciting research topic. And the network is trying to attempt to bring state-of-the-art technologies and foster multidisciplinary approaches at research, training, and education in different scientific fields, including high-resolution microscopy, 3D analysis, images analysis, bioinformatics, genomics, and also plant phenotyping. So this cost action is composed of 5 working groups. I'm participating in one working group. It's quite a big network of participants because it includes almost 200 members from 32 countries, including 19 from coast countries, plus 4 near neighbor countries, including Tunisia, and even beyond. So there are participants from the United States, for example. We were very happy to participate in this cost action from the very beginning, from the submission stage, actually. and we had the chance to participate in different types of activities. So the first one, I was in this annual meeting in Prague in 2019. It was a meeting to evaluate the progress made on the different actions. But I also contribute by giving a seminar on my research activities. And also, I was very thankful for the committee that they gave me also opportunity to introduce my university. So it was a nice opportunity to also introduce the University of Sfax to the whole network. What are the different curricula we have in the university? What type of research activities we have in our university? So it was really a great opportunity to share this experience with all colleagues from European countries. Then we had also participated in other types of activities. I was in STSM in Clermont-Ferrand to discover the different technologies they have for cell imaging, especially confocal microscopy and other type of cell imaging technologies. My PhD student also took benefits from this cost action, and she was one doing STSM. She got STSM grant to go to Strasbourg at the Institute of Plant Molecular Biology. So she spent the week to do some experiment with confocal microscopy on meristematic cells in root plants. And she also participated in a training, scientific training for fluorescence technology, fish technology. And she was very happy to participate as the only non-European student participating in this training. It was in Clermont-Ferrand. So it was very a nice experience for the student. So there were really, there is a high input in terms of getting knowledge on cutting edge technologies like confocal microscopy, genomics, gene expression analysis. So it was very beneficial for me, but also for my research group. So they took the opportunity to participate in different activities, workshop, training, STSMs, and even a part of this, the cost action is still running until the end of the year. And because of the COVID situation, they are organizing a series of webinars on different technologies related to the topic of the cost action. There are still some webinars running for March and April. So really joining this cost action was really very beneficial for us. And we had a really opportunity to discuss with different members, having different experience from multidisciplinary sectors and multidisciplinary fields. This is a very good network of high scientific profile group leaders and researchers. It also give opportunity for young early career scientists to participate and to learn a lot of knowledge on very specific is really a very, very nice opportunity for improving networking with European colleagues, but also from other neighbor countries. And also it's very nice a platform for several scientists to promote how to say, technology transfer on very innovative and advanced technologies. So this helps a lot to promote this transfer. And the last point I would like to also to mention that beyond all this kind of exchange, there was also opportunity to discuss all different opportunities to collaborate at the bilateral but also multilateral level, to participate in different research programs, mainly European programs like Horizon 2020, but now we are preparing for Horizon Europe, participating in the PRIMA partnership, which is more focused on agriculture disciplines, but also for Erasmus Plus program. So this also very important academic program for exchanging experience between Tunisia and European countries. So overall, this kind of activities and exchanges, I really recommend a lot of colleagues to participate and take a part from different cost actions, especially since the participation is
Moez, your connection is broken. We can't hear you.
It's
You are
connection problem.
Connection problem. We can't hear you, and
I think it will end.
And we can join asking for participation easy. So I really recommend colleagues from my country. And thank you for your time. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Now, yes.
Yes, we heard your last sentence saying that it's
now. Yes, okay. I was almost done anyway. I was just saying in the conclusion that I really recommend all the colleagues from Tunisia, but also near neighbor countries, to really participate. Since the participation is so simple and so easy, you just have to contact the chairman and ask for reply for participation. Of course, you have to avoid to be at the last year of the cost action, but otherwise it's really simple, and it's really something that I would recommend for all my colleagues. Thank you for your attention.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for such a nice overview of all possibilities in one cost action, and all highlighting all benefits from it. And yeah, it will be very helpful for our near neighbor country participants, I guess. Thanks. Kata, back to you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for these two very lively and very insightful presentation. I think I would like to join a cost action right away, if I was not already in cost. Thank you very much for the presentation. And now this is what we still have out of this, out of the webinar, is the most important part, the question and answer session. And I would like now to give priority to the questions that we received via the YouTube channel, because there are people that couldn't get access to this meeting via Zoom, so they joined the YouTube channel. And there were quite a few questions concerning about participation in the cost action. I will give an answer to the questions, and I ask my colleague if something is missing, so please amend my answers. The first question asks about how much time is the response time for joining a cost action. And normally there are two parts that I would like to distinguish. One is that there is an informal part for joining a cost action, when you are when the potential the researcher, the potential joinee takes contact with the cost action chair, explains who she is, who he is, where, what are the backgrounds, and they agree on a continuation as the person will join the cost action. And then there is an official procedure via eCost, that is our online platform for application. And that is 15 days, normally the procedure, from the moment the cost action chair launched the procedure until the approval by the cost association. The application for a cost action is by individuals. So if you are 3 researchers, because the question was if there could be an application by a group of researchers of 3. So if you are 3 researchers, please apply individually. There is a question concerning the participation from Belarus. if there is any limitation or restriction to Belarus participation in cost action. And the answer to that question is no. Belarus is has the same rights and obligations as a near neighbor country to the cost action as all the other near neighbor countries. So please get encouraged and join to the cost actions. There is another question concerning opportunities for research administrators and research project writers from near neighbor country in a cost action. As cost actions are aiming for research questions, research administrators might have a chance of a cost action if they turn their experience into a research problematic, or they can already help their colleagues from the research departments of their institutions to write the right letters and to help them to get connected with cost. And the last question from the YouTube channel relating to the cost action access is that how to proceed to join a cost action, because one of our viewers is really eager to join. Then the procedure is to join a cost action that you have to first find your cost actions relevant to your expertise. When you identified these actions, you have to contact the action chair, you have to introduce yourself, explain your background, explain what is the mutual benefit that you can have both from this cooperation. And following that, there should be an agreement between you and the action chair that you will join the action. Following that, the action chair will launch the procedure, as I said, in the eCost portal, and the official procedure will run for about 2 weeks, 15 days, and that will be, at the end, you will receive the acknowledgement that you are officially joined to the cost action. So those were the questions from the YouTube channel. And if you have any questions concerning the presentation being present here in the Zoom channel, or if there is anything coming via the YouTube, then it would be good to answer. There are new questions coming via YouTube, which is asking if African countries can be included. The African countries can all join COST. They have different status. The countries on the north, they are near neighbor countries, so they have a possibility that their participation is reimbursed, while all the remaining countries in Africa are very eligible and welcome to join a cost action, and but then they have to bear the cost of their participation. And then there is a question from Azerbaijan.
So I have one question. Can I join? Maybe you have some journals under the COST program or not?
No, the journal and all the publication is the prerogatives of the cost actions. And if you are in a cost action, you can see how to co-publish with your partners or colleagues from the action. But the cost administration as such, we don't have papers.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
There was also a question in the chat, which was asking about eligible costs and if material acquisitions or data collection considered as eligible cost. Normally, as the cost eligible costs are covering all the costs that are related to the networking activities. So it's accommodation, traveling, and subsistence cost. There is no, and the dissemination costs of the results of the cost action.
Kata, may I add something to your answer? Indeed, very correct. We fund only networking activities, but there are a few exceptions where actually the cost actions can also purchase some of the consumables for the training schools. For example, for the experimental part, you will need to have some samples or maybe special equipment, and you don't have just to give you an example, very powerful microscope, only limited number, so you can hire the equipment. You rent it. You rent the equipment. You cannot purchase computers. You cannot purchase equipment, but you can rent equipment, and you can also purchase some of the consumables limited to the training school. So it's really it should be proportional to the number of the participants, trainees. So with the approval of the science officer, these really consumables, I say, just something that will not last in time, that you actually consume during the training school. Thank you very much.
And there is a question which I think it's best to address to my scientific officer colleagues. The question is from the YouTube channel, which asks, how can I start to build my scientific network when I join the cost action? For example, when we can't travel. Should I write letters to the working group leaders or propose myself for cooperation? Inga, Michael,
okay.
would you like?
Yeah, should I start, Inga?
I will put the question
Yes,
in the chat so
yeah.
people also can see it.
Okay, yeah, it's a very good point, especially in the current context. Okay, what we have observed is that it's true that currently we have very little face-to-face activities that take place, so very little traveling actually taking place. But actually, the cost actions continue their activities online. So a lot have switched from a face-to-face to online meetings. And therefore, what I would suggest is still to continue with the procedure that has been explained before, how to engage with the cost action, because even though on the face-to-face is difficult, you will still be able to join online meetings organized by the cost actions. And I think it's actually an opportunity. The context is difficult, but it's an opportunity because now the actions basically have not real limitations to invite well beyond their capacity of reimbursement. So please proceed as was mentioned before. Find within the large portfolio of actions that we have, get connected with the action chair. Usually this is the way it goes. You as the action chair, and yes, they may refer to you to a working group leaders in some cases, but make yourself known and highlight the mutual benefit that this collaboration would have. Inga, I don't know if you want to complement.
Thank you very much, Michael. Inga, would you like to come in, or?
It's fine, yeah. Just to mention that the joining the cost actions from international partners from near neighbor countries never stopped. It's in active period, but it's still they are joining, and our actions are still active in online settings. So you are really encouraged to if you have interest, you find some action, you need to join them. You need to contact the chair, like Mika mentioned and explained. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I checked both channels. I don't see any more questions at the moment, but if you still have questions, please do send them to us. And if there was anything that we missed already, sorry for that. And we will go through them because we copied them. So you will have answers in writing. Check, please, the link that is provided in the chat.
A question?
And actually, okay, this is the last question then, and then we are closing the meeting.
It's Bilal from Palestine.
Yes,
so does cost cover fellowships and postdoctoral fellowships for 1 or 2 years?
The answer to that question is unfortunately no. Our mobility tools, the networking tools, offer mobility, but for a much shorter term duration, as it was explained.
So what's the maximal period?
Svetlana, can you come back because you had the presentation on that for the training schools and the short-term missions, please?
The short-term scientific missions are limited by the grant period. So it depends when you start. So it's a kind of a budgetary year that determines the duration. So they're, in fact, unlimited, because we don't say like it was a few years ago that it's a maximum of 3 months or even 6 months for ITC, so inclusiveness target countries. So some groups could. Now we've completely waived this limitation. However, the STSM should be planned within one financial year, one grant period. So it cannot be exceeding, so, or maybe last starting in one grant period. So this might be limitation. However, it can be passed by applying for a second time. So first grant period is one application, and then you continue and you go on. It's actually the budget, because it's 3,500 maximum for any duration exceeding X when it reaches the limitation.
So one renewable year. So one renewable year.
1 year maximum. Yeah,
it's renewable.
The renewability is not that good. You have to reapply.
Yes,
reapply. Yeah, that's
yes,
it.
yes.
And the budget is maximized.
And of course, it's not up to us to decide whom to grant the funds. It's the action that we have always short-term scientific missions coordinator. They actually assess the application and see whether the application fits with the action objectives, etc. So they select the applicants.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So thank you very much for your huge interest and the questions. And I think we only have one moment to leave, and this is back to Svetlana to close the event. And you can please follow our website. The event recording as well as the slides will be presented on the COST website and on the event page. So you can see, you can re-watch the most important parts for you, especially the testimonials from our COST action participants, from Professor Kochuba and Professor Hanin, because they didn't have slides, so only their living words, which were very impressive and impactful, but you might need to rewatch it to get more familiar with the content. So for the closing words, the floor is for Svetlana. Svetlana, thank you very much.
Thank you, Katalin. And thank you to everyone. You stayed with us. You were very brave to sit through the presentations, and you were very active to ask us the questions. So my special thanks are for the two speakers from the COST Actions. Thank you very much for your enthusiasm and for the good words about COST and a very good promotion. So all I can tell is just I hope that you enjoyed this event and you found it interesting for you, relevant for you. But now, I would invite you to start to act on all you learned today. So join us, use us. It will help your research. It will help your networking and maybe your career. Thank you very much again, and I wish you a good lunch, bon appetit, and hope to see you in COST Actions in the future. Thank you and bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.